Welcome in, everybody. Ready to dive deep. Today, we're going to be talking about something that's pretty important to a lot of us. Uh, Talent acquisition. And you know those resume gaps, the ones that sometimes make you sweat a little? We're going to look at how companies view those.
Yeah.
And we've got this really interesting article to help us out. It's called HR Don't Mind the Gap.
Yeah, I think this is a really relevant conversation, especially with all this talk about talent shortages. But what's interesting is that this article, well, it kind of challenges that whole narrative. It suggests that maybe companies aren't seeing the whole picture. Like there might actually be a lot of skilled people out there, especially for those office type jobs.
Exactly. And the author, Sylvia Ola, she just comes right out and says, there's no talent shortage, just talent blindness. She even talks about that super awkward question. So tell me about this gap on your CV. You know, the one that makes you feel like you have to justify every single month you weren't working a traditional 9 to 5.
It's like taking time off to be with family or to do something you're passionate about or just to recharge. It's almost like those things are seen as bad things. But what Ola is saying is that life happens. People have things going on, and those breaks, they don't make you less skilled or less able to contribute. I mean, a lot of times they actually make you better.
Right. And it's so true. Have you ever felt like you had to downplay those career breaks? Like they were something to be embarrassed about?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I think it's a pretty common experience. And it shows how stuck we are in this old-fashioned way of thinking about careers, like they have to be this straight line. And Ola points out how this can really hurt people, but it hurts companies too.
Yeah, and she talks about this program by MetLife. It's called We Don't Mind the Gap, which I think is such a cool name.
I love that. Yeah. And what MetLife is doing is really awesome. They're basically saying, hey, we respect your experiences. We're not going to make you feel like you need to explain yourself for every little thing.
It's like the opposite of those interviews where you feel like they're grilling you about every single month you weren't at a desk.
Totally. It's about realizing that people have lives outside of work, and those experiences, they can actually make someone a better employee. They
Yeah.
bring different skills and perspectives to the table.
Yeah. And then Ola gets into this really interesting discussion about those typical office tasks, emails, meetings that could be in an email, this constant pressure to look busy, even when maybe you're not actually getting much done.
And she's so funny about it. You can tell she's got a great sense of humor. But underneath that humor, she's making this really important point. Like, is there a disconnect between how important we think these office jobs are and what the work actually involves?
I know. She even said something like, you practically have to be brain dead to enjoy some of these tasks.
Yeah, that one made me laugh. But it also got me thinking, like, could this idea that these jobs are so complex be part of the reason why companies are missing out on great people? That talent blindness she was talking about.
That's a great question. Are companies maybe overlooking people who could be amazing in these roles simply because they don't fit some perfect little mold?
Maybe. It's definitely something to think about. It could be that there's this whole pool of talent right in front of us and we're not even seeing it.
Right. What if instead of seeing those career breaks as a bad thing, we started seeing them as a sign that someone is adaptable, resilient, and ready to learn?
I love that. That's a huge shift in perspective, and it could help so many people find jobs that they're actually passionate about. And it could help companies find amazing employees.
Absolutely. And, Ola doesn't just talk about people with career breaks. She also says that companies put way too much emphasis on things like how many years of experience you have or if you know a very specific software program.
I hear that. You could have all these transferable skills and you're eager to learn, but if your resume doesn't look exactly right, you might not even get a chance.
Yeah, like those job ads that still list Excel and PowerPoint as requirements. I mean, come on, who doesn't know how to use those programs at this point?
Totally. That's a perfect example of how outdated hiring practices are actually blocking people from getting jobs.
Ola also talks about those companies that require experience with very specific software programs. But today's workforce, they're pretty tech savvy. They can learn new things pretty quickly.
Yeah, instead of worrying about whether someone has used this exact program before, why not see how quickly they can learn? Because things change all the time, especially with technology.
Right. It all comes back to that idea of talent blindness, doesn't it? Companies are so focused on checking off boxes that they're missing out on great candidates.
Yeah, it's too bad because we've been talking about this, right? There's so much talent out there, people with different experiences, unique skills, and a fresh perspective.
And it's kind of weird when you think about it. Yeah, those industries that need really specialized skills, like the trades, they seem a lot more willing to train people. And then you have these white-collar jobs that aren't as specialized, and they're all about experience.
It is kind of strange, right? Like maybe those trades, they know exactly what skills you need, so they're just like, okay, let's teach you this. But then you have these office jobs that are stuck in this rut. They think the only way to be good at something is to have done it for years and years.
You'd think those white-collar jobs would be more open to different kinds of talent, especially since they talk so much about critical thinking and problem solving.
Yeah. Maybe it's time for them to change how they think about hiring. It shouldn't just be about what's on your resume. It should be about, can this person learn? Do they have potential?
Yeah, and sometimes the best skills, they're not even on a resume, right?
Mm,
Being able to adapt, being resilient, knowing how to work with other people, those are things you learn by doing, by experiencing life.
definitely. Think about people who have taken time off. Maybe they were raising kids, traveling, working on something they love. Those experiences, they teach you a lot about managing your time, solving problems, working with all sorts of people.
It's like Ola says, at the end of the day, it's just a job. We shouldn't make it more complicated than it needs to be. Find people who can do the job well, who want to learn, and who will be a good part of the team.
Exactly. Keep it simple. And by doing that, by not getting hung up on all these requirements, I think companies might actually find some amazing people. Instead of looking for a specific software or years of experience, just look for those basic skills, look for potential.
So it really boils down to this. Can you do the work? Are you willing to learn? Will you be a good teammate?
And, will you be a good fit for the company's culture, their values? Those are the things that matter.
So for those of us listening, how can we actually use this information? Maybe we're thinking about our own careers, or maybe we're in a position to hire people.
I think it's about looking at those criteria we've always used to judge people. Maybe it's time to get rid of some of them. Look beyond the resume. Try to see what someone is truly capable of. See if they're willing to learn and grow.
And if you're looking for a job, maybe think about your career path. Those experiences that were different, that weren't traditional, maybe those are your biggest strengths.
It's all about challenging those old ideas about what a career should look like and being more open-minded about talent.
Yeah, because like Ola said, there's no talent shortage, just talent blindness.
You need to start seeing the possibilities, see all the different experiences and skills that people bring.
It's time to let go of those old ideas about what a perfect candidate looks like and start valuing how rich and complex people's experiences really are.
Because when you have people with different thoughts, backgrounds, and ways of seeing things, that's when you get real innovation. That's when you succeed.
And talent can come from anywhere. That person with a career gap, maybe they have the exact skills your team needs and they bring a new way of thinking.
It's seeing potential where others see an empty space. Give people a chance, no matter their background or their career path.
It's about making work a place where everyone can contribute, a place where everyone feels like they belong.
And, in a world where things change all the time, being able to adapt and being open to new ideas, those are the most important skills you can have.
So, to wrap it all up, don't mind the gap.
Don't mind the gap. Look at the person behind the resume.
Yeah, maybe take a look at your company's hiring practices. Are they actually preventing you from finding amazing people?
Yeah, it really is time to move past those old-fashioned ways of judging candidates and just focus on the stuff that matters. Skills, potential, and, do they have that drive to contribute?
So we really hope this deep dive has given everyone some things to think about, maybe even inspired you to, change how you think about finding talent or even how you think about your own career.
And if this conversation resonated with you, if it got you thinking, we'd love it if you shared it with others. Anyone who might benefit from this new way of looking at talent at those career breaks.
And of course, make sure you subscribe to The Deep Dive for more conversations that make you think, that help you navigate this crazy world we live in.
So until next time, keep on diving.